Hey, Mike Peck from Brush Real Estate here in Escondido. Have you thought the last week or so that maybe the world is like coming to an end or something with all of this up and down with the market? Well, I'm here to tell you and help you understand further why that's actually not the case. And you can rest assured that the market's going to be just fine here in San Diego. Why don't you come join me? Is a recession coming? And here's what that means for housing. And Patrick, I think his name is Sisson. He does a really good job here. Just even last week, taking time to kind of go through what those potential fears may be. And I just wanted to highlight a few that I made some notes about as I was reading down. So, you know, the big thing, of course, the market just took a dive last week of about 800 points. He points that out here. And then, you know, that of course sparks some real big fear for all of us. And we really start to think about, well, what about our houses? What about the market itself? And the real estate kind of, I guess you'd call them professionals out there at Realtor.com really do a great job with surveying their clientele that use their website. And they released a survey last month that actually said that there was a 4.4% decrease from last year in consumer confidence. And so that definitely points to signs that there may be something pending up ahead here with a looming recession kind of fear. The other thing, of course, is then you've got Jeff Andrews here. He found earlier this year that recessions don't always impact the housing market as they would, say, the job force or other sectors of the economy. And we want to remember that, okay? That was something kind of a new point for me that I took away from this, is that housing market is really a standalone piece of the economy, and it doesn't get impacted the way that other parts of the economy do. So something to really consider there. Then the other thing that I found interesting was that the ATTOM or Atom Data Solutions, they only twice in the last 5 recessions, they quoted here, in 1990 and in 2008, as we all remember that one, did home prices come down. In 1990, prices actually decreased by less than 1%, and then during the other 3, prices actually they increased. You guys, they went up. Pretty cool to think about, I suppose, in all the darkness of a recession. And then you have Javier here. Housing market fundamentals remain strong. And anytime we kind of use maybe a sports analogy, we think of fundamentals, right? Go back to the fundamentals. And the fundamentals of the housing market, they are strong. And Javier here, he points that out. He's the director of economic research for Realtor.com. And he actually says, down here, he says that he doesn't believe that the housing market is nearly as in much trouble as it was during the last recession in '08. So something to really think about there. Down here towards the bottom before this ad is, you know, there's a big push last recession that led to a big issue with the recession. Is there was so much building, so much construction. Do you remember that? And just houses going up left and right, and with that came, you know, different ways to get people into those homes, which is on the other page here, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But the over-construction really was one indicator that led down the road of a recession last time, and that's just simply not happening right now. You can look at different points of data for construction, new home construction, and it's just not happening. I mean, you can just open your eyes and look around, right? I mean, the street corners of your local, you know, opened areas that are maybe being bought up by housing developers, but they're not being bought up as quickly as they used to be. And so something to think about there too. As we scroll down here, one other thing is the, just again, Andrews, he points out that last recession, you guys, there were so many things wrong. The chaos of the housing market was the absolute biggest issue. And it was when mortgage lending, right here, standards, they literally, I like this word, eroded to the point that mortgage bonds, they were literally just spread throughout the whole world, the whole system. And it was literally just a bomb ready to go off. And it did, and everybody suffered in some way. And so today, though, rest assured, right here, he says that, and it is true, mortgage lending has become so strict in a good way to make sure that this does not happen again. And 2008, even though it seems like a long time ago, it was over 10 years ago, it really wasn't that long ago, and it's very fresh in people's minds. And so we certainly don't want to go down that road. The market here, the next heading, with low supply and high demand. What does that mean, you guys? Realtor.com, they are predicting here that there's maybe a resurgence of national inventory declines. What does that mean? It just means that the inventory, the homes up for sale, there's going to be less of them across the nation. And that could be a driving factor that could potentially turn back into bidding wars and strong price appreciation and quicker home sales. It actually could help things if there's less inventory, right? So something to think about there. And then the last point here, guys, in this whole article, I thought was interesting. It was made here by the National Association of Realtors chief economist, Lawrence Yun. He was just saying here that essentially low interest rates are going to be really unlikely to lift business investment in such a cloudy environment. He says, but the housing sector, though, could get a boost from favorable mortgage rates. And so that's something to think about, you guys. And then last but not least, right down here, he says, make it clear that the federal government will allow businesses to pursue ways that is most efficient and convenient, including foreign transactions. Such conditions will boost economic outlook and get the bond yield curve away from that inversion. That inversion comment, of course, about how the when things are inverted, it's really not a very good thing in the stock market and in the marketplace, economic marketplace. So we're getting away from that if we go that route. Anyway, so that's just I hope a fairly brief, I went a little long, but a fairly brief summary. I will get better at these as we do them, and I appreciate it. Please provide me any feedback. I appreciate it. Thanks.